in India, to be an undergraduate is simply a blackboard experience. You sit inside a classroom while the teacher writes on the blackboard, you take notes, give an exam, and you are done. Gandhiji consistently said that in education it is important to use your hands, to relate to the world. Then that knowledge will enter your heart. And Gandhiji never spoke on anything until he had experimented at great length and drawn conclusions. And he was well qualified to speak on education because he first ran a school in South Africa. Look at his progress. Then he set up a university in Ahmedabad which functions till today. And then he set up a Polytechnic Institute for Women at Wardha, on whose governing body he put India's foremost scientists. So he understood that. And we need to pay attention to these things. This business of divesting education from the real world is harming us. Yesterday, I sat with about 20 really bright undergraduates from one of my finest colleges. It was an informal chat over lunch. And I asked each one of them to tell me one memorable experience that they'd had in their 3 years in the college. All of them had memorable experiences, each one of them. But not one of their experiences was connected with their teaching, their learning. It was always something different. Somewhere we should recognize that even that is knowledge. We must understand that. We must accept that. We must analyze that and enrich ourselves with that. We cannot be the sole arbiters of this decision that this is knowledge and this is not knowledge. That is not working, and we need to think about that. I cannot prescribe all the solutions. As I said, I endorse what the others have said before me. But let us recognize where we need to do some rectification. How does knowledge drive an economy? Let me just draw a contrast for you. Some time back, I looked at the quarterly figures of two leading companies in the domain of IT. One of them was Google, the other was an Indian IT company, a leading IT company. When I compared the figures, at that point in time, Google was about 10 years old. The Indian IT company was 5 times older, about 50 years old. Google had about 10,000 employees at that time. The Indian IT company had more than 80,000 employees. And Google's profits were 3 times that of the Indian IT company. Why does that happen? Because Google is driven by this engine that comes from the knowledge corridors of Stanford University, devised by undergraduates. We need to think about that. We need to make this happen in India. Unless we do that, we will begin to falter. As I said, India is beginning to regenerate itself, but to sustain its knowledge centers will have to open out, to merge with the real world. If we do not do that, we will find ourselves in some sort of trouble. I look at nuclear technology and I'm dismayed that even today, none of our institutions of learning have moved forward enough to make ourselves, in some sense, self-sufficient. Countries that started in this realm much after us have gone ahead. Again, where have we faltered? These are areas which are vital for the nation's growth, and we need to work harder, question ourselves, set up the mechanisms so that gradually, but in a reasonable and sustained fashion, we move towards these ends. Some time back, when high-definition television was simply a concept in the mind, Sony Corporation set out a global tender seeking bids for people who could start and end the whole problem of creating high-definition television. They invited global bids. There's a huge lesson here. Of course, I have not seen any team from India bidding for that, But the team that won the bid and created the high definition television was really a team from MIT. This is a bid that comes out of Japan. This is a tender that comes out of Japan, and the bid is won from a team from MIT. And who are in that team? That's where the lesson lies. There are mathematicians, there are computer scientists, there are engineers, all working together. This interdisciplinarity, this multidisciplinarity, this cross-disciplinarity, again, Indian institutions need to think about that. Not only are we within silos, but inside the institution, we have created further sub-silos. We do not talk to each other. We need to open that. We need to change that. I have with me this magazine on health that I just looked at over here, Reforming Medical Education to Benefit Masses. One of the biggest struggles that the education minister has been having in the past is to somehow get medical education into our institutes of technology. The best medical insights are coming from technology, from science, from mathematics. And somewhere we have stopped that. We need to break those walls down. It should not even be a struggle. The minister's ideas are certainly correct. You look at any great medical advance coming from any part of the world, there is a huge amount of technology in it. There is a huge amount of mathematics in it. Let us reinvent ourselves. We need to open our minds towards this. Only then will we begin to sustain the knowledge economy, when knowledge will flow for benefits. How does one make this happen? Many prescriptions have been given. We need teachers, we need infrastructure, we need all those things, certainly. Let me just add my bit to it. Somewhere India must realize the power of ICT. When the railways were spread across the nation, when the tracks were laid, the tracks don't do anything. When the trains move, they don't do much until the goods trains begin to move with the goods to take people and goods to different parts of the land. In exactly the same way, let ICT cast a network around the country, which it is beginning to do. The National Knowledge Network is a marvelous initiative. Let the knowledge centers begin to connect not just with themselves, not just between disciplines, but with the real world. Let there be a cross-fertilization of ideas through this. And India must adopt the hybrid model, where knowledge is imparted not just in the traditional mode, not just solely through the ICT mode, but in a hybrid fashion. There is enough evidence to show that this is a highly successful model. We need to rethink on these matters. As I said, I will just illustrate with examples, and I'm more or less done. Thank you very much.